Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to my another video on Android app development, and this will be the part 3 of my video series on Google Maps SDK using Android Studio. Alright, so we will continue, and there you can see we have the request location, dialog, and the check permission and request location methods. So first of all we will create the function, and that is the request location dialog. So we have to show the dialog to the user. So for this we can say location setting request dot builder, and we can say builder equal to new location setting request dot builder. Okay, and then we have to add the location request. So basically we have to provide it with the request object. So for this we can say builder dot add location request, and we can pass on our location request object here, and then we can say builder dot set always show, and it should show it to be true. Then we have to use the location setting request. So for this we can say location setting request, and there we can say location setting request equal to, finally we can say builder dot build. Alright, and after this we have to use a settings client. So we can say setting client equal to location services dot get setting client, and we have to pass on our this activity context. Then we can use task, and it will be location setting response, and there we can say task equal to setting client dot check location settings, and here we have to provide the location settings request here. Alright, and then we can use the add-on success listener. So we can say dot add-on success listener new on success listener. Then here we have to display a message, or I think we should remove it. So there we can say task dot add on failure listener, and here we can say new on failure listener. So here what we are going to do, inside our on failure listener we can just check if the instance of resolvable resolve resolve resolvable API exception, and if we have to check, then we can say, or I think we should remove it because we don't need to write anything here. After we have this, we have on success, and then we have the add on failure. So I think our work is now complete. So after this request location, we are now going to use the function check permission and request location. Okay, so here we can create this function. So click on alt enter, and inside this we are now going to check if android.os.build.version.stk int, and if it is equal to or greater than build.version then we have to request for the permission, and here we have to check. So for this we can say context compact dot check self permission, and here we have to pass on this. Then we have to check the manifest dot permission dot location access course location, and then we can check equal to package manager dot permission granted, and there we can check, and then we can say if the permission is granted, then we can say view location client dot request location updates, and there we can pass on our location request function, and we have to pass on our location callback, so we can say location callback, and finally we can say looper dot my looper. Alright, so we here we request the location, and then we can say mmap dot set my location enabled, and it must be true. Alright, and if we don't have the user permission, then we have to use a function check for location permission, and then here if it is not equal to marshmallow, or if it is less than marshmallow, then we can just do it again. So there we will just copy it and paste it here. Alright, so after this, we for the check for location permission, here we can create a function of the type void. Then here we can check if check permission, and here we can say activity compact dot request permissions, and there we have to pass on this activity. Then we can say new string array, and here we can say manifest dot permission dot access course location, and then we will have manifest dot permission dot access find location, and then we have to pass on the request code, so it will be 1001. All right, then after this we have to use or create this function check permission. So for this we can say private void check permission, or we can use s, so for in order to make it identical. And why it is okay, so it will be of type boolean. All right, for the check permission, and there we can use for the check permission, here we can check if tool dot version dot stk int is greater than equal to 23, then here we can say int result equal to context compact dot check self permission, then we can pass on this, and then we can say manifest dot permission dot access find location, and here we can check if result is equal to package manager dot permission granted, then it means that we have to pass return true, then inside our else part we can return false, and here we can pass return true. Alright guys, so I think that our code is now complete, so we can run the code on our Android phone, and let's see if it works or not. So let me connect my phone. So I already have connected my phone, so I will just run the app so that it works. So I hope that it will work. So the app is now getting installed. So let's see if it will work or not. So there you can see our app is now opened, and there you can see we have the app is crashed. So let's see where did the app crash. So it crashed here inside our set. Let me see the error. Okay, so now we have to use the metadata for the Google Maps API because I forgot to add it. So for this, let me add the metadata. We have the get an API key here. So all we have to do is, let me see where it is. Alright, so now we have to copy these lines of code, so you can just follow me, and here you can see we have these two. So here we have to provide a Google Maps SDK. So how you can fetch the Google Maps SDK? So all you have to do is you have to go to Google Cloud Console, and from there you can enable the Google Maps SDK in your project after you create your project. So there you will be able to see this, and then you have to click on here and go to API services dashboard, and there search for the Google for the Maps SDK. Okay, so you have to click on enable APIs, and the first API here you will see will be the Maps SDK for Android. Click on it, and then you have to enable. Since it is already enabled, so I will click on manage, and then we will copy the API key or create the API key. So there you have to go to credentials, and for the credentials we can just copy the API key. So there I already have this API key, so I will just copy. In case if you want to create your own API key, so you have to go to credentials, and then you have to click create credentials and API key. Okay, so here in this case creating API key, so our API key has been created. So for this you can just paste it here, and so now let's just run our app again, and the app is now getting installed, and let's see if it crashes or not. Okay, so you can see allow app to allow for the device location. After we click on allow, and there you can see we already have the location enabled, but it is not showing our current location. Maybe okay, so now it is showing our current location here, and suppose I just remove the map, I mean I disable the GPS. Then if I click on here, and okay, it is not asking me for the dialog. So guys, if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and goodbye.